All right, the Las Vegas Raiders are fresh off a really disappointing loss. We'll talk a little bit about that, but I want to talk about how they waste no time making changes. And in fact, they wasted so little time making changes that they already made them during the game. So we're going to talk about the changes that they made, the one simple fix, the very simple fix that unlocked your future superstar running back in Ashen Genty. Let's talk about that for a second. But before we get into that, if you are new to this channel, my name is Craig. Me and my buddy Chris started this channel after we had another one. It was Sports Talk Detroit. You see the Hutch jersey over there. All right. And it's so weird when it's backwards. But we love talking about teams that the national media is kind of ignoring. Because we felt that so many years in Detroit. And even now a little bit, believe it or not, in the offseason. Like, people weren't giving Detroit the love they needed. But we want to give you some non-biased feedback on your team. We do try and keep it positive, but if you like what we're doing here and you want a go-to source where you're going to get a couple of Las Vegas Raider videos every week or so, hit that subscribe button if you like what we're talking about. So I want to talk about first what Ashen Genty did with his stance. He went all the way back to Halloween. He went back to Boise State, the Michael Myers, stance. He stood up. And I want to just talk to you for a second about this stance. I told you we're Lions fans. There's another guy who's been standing like this since he came into the NFL. His name's Jahmyr Gibbs. He's been just fine. And I think it is simple. I think it's really, really simple. It doesn't affect anything that he can do, right? It really doesn't. Like, I think as a coach, you get stuck in this idea that maybe it does affect what you can do. It doesn't. It doesn't change. And he's shown the burst, but it allows him to just be in a better position for what he's comfortable with. I kind of think of it like this. Who are my golfers out there? Let me know if you're a golfer. If you're a golfer, then throw me your handicap if you got one. All right. And if you don't have a handicap, tell me what you hope to shoot when you go golfing. Like, what are you going for? I personally am a guy who's just like, I so desperately want to break 80. I'm thrilled if I break 80. I'm happy if I break 85. I'm content if I break 90. Love golf. Anyways, with all of that being said, I compare it to golf. And when you're standing over the golf ball, if you're a golfer, you know that you have to be comfortable, right? You have to be comfortable as you're going. We've all seen the guy back off. Maybe you've done it when you're just like, can't get right. That's just not right. The stance doesn't feel right. And they were asking him to change something in his game that didn't matter. I think of the same thing in baseball when you're in the batter's box. There are so many different stances in the batter's box that work for different batters. It's just what makes them comfortable. There's so many different jump shots. There is what we would consider a pure jump shot and a great release and stuff like that. One of the purest releases of all time is Ray Allen, Klay Thompson, and then you have guys that are doing it different than anybody's ever done it before, like Steph Curry, and it turns out to be the greatest shot of all time. Like, different people have different things. You need to let them do their thing at times if it's not technically wrong. And Ashen Genty did that. And to prove my point further, I want to go ahead and I want to show you some of the blocking grades here, because we would have thought the line was opening up huge holes, and to an extent they were. I'm actually going to zoom back out. Hopefully you can still see it. All right. This is the biggest standout to me, and another change that the Raiders made. There was all this talk, dumb talk, about how Jackson Powers Johnson was going to compete for the starting job, right? He played every offensive snap as the right guard, and he was the highest graded pass blocker on the team. He was the second highest graded lineman blocking, period. Colton Miller was number one, which again is just devastating news. He's headed to the IR. It doesn't mean he's going to miss the year. He got a high ankle sprain that also has a slight stress fracture as well in the ankle. So I don't know. I can't find anything as of yet how long that's going to keep him out. But here's Stone Forsythe. Here we go. And so with DJ Glaze, who's going to play what side? I don't know. Everybody else was only marginally better. Colton Miller did his same thing. And then you go down here, you see DJ Glaze at right tackle. His run blocking wasn't particularly good, slightly elevated. Dylan Parham at left guard. The announcers were talking really highly of him. His run blocking grade didn't pan out to that. And Jordan Meredith, same. They were slightly better than they've been. They went from below starter average, and I don't mean below average for a starter. I mean like below what you'd want out of a starter average to low-level starter. But you had one guy, Jackson Powers Johnson, who went and became a really good player. And that is the kind of thing you can expect for him. I think it also says something about his character that when his name is circulating and in the news like crazy and all these things are going on, guess what? He's still balling out. I think that really says something about who he is as a player for sure. All right. But I do want to talk more. I want to talk more about Ashen Genty. I need to get there. So he looked like Boise State Ashen Genty, didn't he? Like he looked like Ashen Genty against Boise State. And what I mean by that is you saw a guy that ran with extreme contact balance. The amount of times he'd jump or bounce off it. A guy that showed that he has that extreme burst. When he took off for that 64-yard touchdown run, you're like, oh, yeah, he's not going to make it. Oh, he made it. Like, it is unbelievable what he was able to do. And then he even caught a couple of passes. Both, by the way, were for touchdowns. Both showed either burst or contact balance. So what you've realized is, okay, you do have a real one. And we talk about it so often. It's almost like the first month of the season for running backs, rookie running backs. They almost have to take like a red shirt, right? Where, they're just either going to play and not look great or they're not going to play much. And Ashen Genty was thrown into the fire. Genty was thrown into the fire. Whereas other guys like Travion Henderson wasn't. Like, they just said, we're not going to play him much. RJ Harvey, we're not going to play him much. Quinshon Judkins got his opportunity right away, but he didn't play the first 2 weeks because of all the legal issues. So, and not being signed. So, like, this is not something where you see running backs go off. What you see is running backs get better as the year goes on. And what Ashen Genty showed in this game is that if the offensive line is going to be average, he can be great. And that is something that I love to see, especially because Geno Smith is not playing well. He is not playing well. That is not a good defense over in Chicago. They're without their best corner. They're not good at getting a pass rush, right? No sacks. And I understand that there was some pressure, all right, but not great at getting a pass rush. Geno Smith is just not looking great. So you need that run game to look really, really good. But here's the good news for the Raiders. They almost won a game in which their quarterback threw 3 interceptions. They made what has been a fairly explosive Chicago offense look fairly pedestrian, especially on the ground, which they haven't been great, period. And they're just a Geno Smith playing decent away from being a successful team. So the changes have happened. The coaches are allowing these guys, they're allowing Powers Jackson to go and play right guard. They're allowing him to play every snap. They're allowing their rookie running back to stand how he wants to stand, right? These are good starts. Changes are coming. Hey, even if you're not watching a team that's going to be a playoff caliber team, because they might not be, at least you know you have your backfield set and you can just figure it out from there. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.